Okay, you guys, so it's kind of a weird thing. I know I don't look like I normally do and whatever. It's a really quick video. But I basically just kind of wanted to update you guys on what I've been reading, which I haven't been reading at all, but kind of just a quick update on books that I'm planning on reading within the next couple months, that sort of thing. So, first things first, this is not edited at all, so this is going to be really bad, but first things first is there's two books that I finished within the last month and a half. The first is The Complete Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Both of the books that I've read this month are graphic novels. I'm currently in a graphic novel class, so that would make sense as to why I'm reading a lot of graphic novels. And then the second one is the second adaptation of The Throne of Fire by Rick Riordan. The adaptation is by Orpheus Collar, and it was good. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, I think. But I'm trying to catch up on my Goodreads goal right now, so that's the plan. Okay, and basically the rest of these are books that I want to read within the next couple months. The first one is A Darker Shade of Magic by B.E. Schwab. I've had this book on audiobook for the last 6 months or so, but I've never actually gotten my hands on the actual book. I'm probably like 2 or 3 chapters in the audiobook, so now I can read and listen and do whatever I end up wanting to. But yeah, I just got this from my aunt. Okay, the next one I got as a gift from my boyfriend, and it is the apparently 4th story in the Once Upon a Time universe thing. It's Red's Untold Tale by Wendy Tolliver. It's based obviously on the show Once Upon a Time. When I added it to my Goodreads list, it said it's the 4th one, so I need to get the other 3 as well. But it's super simple, like super big text and stuff, and it's a pretty small book, so I should be able to get through this pretty quickly, but I just need to start it. But yeah, I'm excited to get to this eventually. And the next one I've had for a long time. I've had this one for 4 months now, and I'm borrowing it from my boyfriend, and it's Doctor Who and the Revenge of the Cybermen by Terrence Dicks. And it's just basically a little book based on Doctor Who, and that's mine and my boyfriend's one of our 3 favorite shows, I guess, that we share in common. So yeah. The next book I bought for a read-along, Novels and Nonsense. Samantha over at Novels and Nonsense has started a Robin Hobb read-along, and so the first book that they're reading is The Assassin's Apprentice, and so I went ahead and ordered it. It was super cheap, and so I was like, I might as well read the first one. If I like it, I'll buy the other ones and keep going. But basically, for the next 6 months, I think it's starting like the 23rd or something like that, they're reading a Robin Hobb book a week. So I got this in order to start with them and try it. And if I'm slower than them, I'll just catch up later or whatever. And if I end up not liking his books, then great. But I do like a lot of fantasy books, so I'm thinking that I'll end up liking his books quite a bit. The next one this book I have been reading for 6 months. I think this is month 6, and I'm not very far at all, which is fine. I don't need to be super far in it. Where did my bookmark go? There it is. Okay. And it is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, The Sword of the Summer, and I've been reading this forever. I'm like maybe a 5th of the way into it, and yeah, so that just needs to get finished eventually. And that brings me to The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. This just came out like a week ago, and I'm so excited to start this. I read like a page or so, and I'm excited to finally be back with Percy and be back in Camp Half-Blood and that sort of thing. The next two books I bought for graphic novel for that class, and it is the adaptation of The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan, by Robert Venditti. And then I also picked up Nimona, which has gotten a lot of praise, and I've only heard good things about it. And so I'm really, really excited, and like the pictures are beautiful, and so I'm excited to get into that one. The next one, again, I've been reading it since first trimester, and it is Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac. I started reading this book for a class, and I just haven't gotten back to it yet. But I have really, really enjoyed it so far, so I want to keep reading it. I don't want to stop. This book I have had on my TBR since it came out, like since I got it in the mail, and that is The Copper Gauntlet by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. It is the second book in the Magisterium series, and I loved the first book so much, and I don't know why I haven't picked this up yet, but I haven't. It's been on my shelf to read, and I just haven't gotten to it. This is also a book I'm borrowing from my boyfriend, and it is Doctor Who, 11 Doctors, 11 Stories. Each story is by a different author, and it's super ginormous. These used to be ebooks, and then they ended up, for the 50th anniversary, binding that up in one whole book. So I'm super excited to get into this eventually. But, you know, what can you do? The next book I also just recently got. It came out the same day as The Trials of Apollo, and it is, did you not? Oh. The next book I picked up is called Mother Daughter Book Camp by Heather Begel Frederick. It is the 7th and final book in the Mother Daughter Book Club series. I thought the 6th one was the final one because I read somewhere that it was, but it is not, so, you know. The next book, again, I am borrowing from my boyfriend, but it has obviously gotten a lot of note in the booktube community, and it has a movie, and that is The Fifth Wave. I still have not read this book, and I've been borrowing it from him for, again, like 4 months. Just haven't started it yet. So we wanted to go see the movie, that's why he gave me the book, and I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. The next 4 books are books that I am borrowing from one of my teachers because I'm doing an independent study next year. So it's just 4 books on directing that I really, really want to read, and I'm super excited to get to these whenever I do. Like, I'm excited. And then the next 2 books are books that have been on my shelf for ages. The first one is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm still super, super early in it, and like, want to get to it, but I just haven't. And then, you know, the other one is this beast of a book that I don't even think I've gotten one section into it yet. So, but, you know, what can you do when you don't have time or don't have the desire? But yeah, so I guess that's it for this video today. Sorry for that weird interruption. I'm not going to edit it out, so you're just going to have to deal with it, and my stuttering is whatever at this point. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video whenever that is, I guess, maybe.